So this is the Regal Revolution vise. This setup right here, now I have the big game jaws. I also have the standard jaws for it as well. Regal's just, I mean, it's just such a solid vise. I've tied on a bunch of vices, and this is really what I found to be my favorite, and I wanted to walk you through some of the features and the things I think it makes stand out compared to other vices. So first thing is just construction. This thing is solid. Everything on it is metal. There's no plastic O-rings. There's no plastic parts. There's no there's nothing that's going to break. So whenever it comes down to the jaws, it's a simple lever system, as you can see on the bottom here. And all it takes, so I'll do it with two hands so you can kind of see here, but all it takes is you just push this little lever right there and it opens up your jaws. So this is, like I said, this is the big game. This is the Revolution. So there's a counterbalance here on the head. So whenever you loosen up this this little screw here, you can have really nice, easy indexing. So it'll kind of stay into place as you start to turn and apply materials. Or you can undo it all the way. And what the counterbalance does it allow it to do, it'll allow the device to actually spin, and you can get a true inline rotary tying system. So really simple, easy turns where you could do turns with just the tips of your fingers right here on the end. A little bit bigger if you want a little more control. And like I said, once you kind of lock it down, the nice thing is as the pressure comes on here, you can make it so there's a little bit of pressure where it'll just stay, and you can just kind of index and tie around, use your finger to tie here, bring it back, have a really nice 360-degree view of your fly, but then easily switch right out. There's no like clicking, it's just all in tension. It's not like some other devices have kind of like a little pop piece and other things, but this is just loosen that set screw, and you could even spin it as a rotary vise, and with the tension set in this knob, you stop and it stops in place. So you can get your spin and it'll actually stop right in place. So this setup, I have a heavy brass base for it. As you can kind of see, there's a lot of little channels in here for storing materials, dumbbell eyes, some extra little pieces that tinsel, jungle cocks, and just other pieces of feathers that easily come in. One thing you'll see different about this vase, or this base, is the height of my stem. So from Regal, I ordered a higher stem. I like to be able to tie almost at eye level, so my chair is set up on my bench where it's almost exactly eye level, and it locks right into place. Normal size stem that fits all the accessories, anything that you want to put on there, bobbin holder, waste basket, one of those like little like cliff top shelf things that you can put on there. So changing out the heads, this one all Allen key based, so Allen key that they provide. They got it on here pretty tight. You can easily just loosen them up, and it'll slide right off. So you can either go from the big game jaws there, you can go into the standard. Again, counterbalance so it spins nicely. But another really nice thing about this vise too is that it'll take the Regal tube fly vise adapter. So just a really quick little thing under there, and then you have a rotary tube vise as well with all the pins and all the attachments that Regal has. So really is a lot of versatility in this Revolution base and kind of tying system. So like I said, I'm using the big game. I found that the big game jaws are a good mix of trout all the way up to big heavy stuff. People might think that the big game jaws are really only for big heavy saltwater predator flies, but I found actually to be the opposite, that I like it even on my small stuff because it gives it a nice big base for you to rest your hand on too. So kind of starting off, I mean, people think big game jaws, you're thinking big hooks. These are this is the Partridge, this is the Absolute Predator X in an 8/0. One of the biggest hooks you'll find. Musky guys love these. Big hook. Again, any vise is going to struggle to kind of hold this thing. All you have to do is open it up, slide it right into place. It's notched out, and you've got one of the bigger hooks on the market. No problem. The one thing is, as you can see, that the arm has a little bit less tension in there now that since the vise is in the open part. So you just have to, on the Revolution, if you have it there, it's gonna knock. So just make sure you open that. But there you go. You have your you've got your big hooks taken care of. I tie a lot of steelhead patterns, so I'm super big on Waddington shanks. And I think that this is the absolute best platform for tying on Waddington shanks. Go top like that, do your adjustment, and right there you've got a Waddington shank ready to go. And there's no better base to really get your hands on here if you're holding materials back, you're brushing materials, if you just want to spin to index. Really awesome. Really cool thing too about the Vise is there's a little magnet on top, so after you do make a fly, you've got a nice little holder spot for it. Stepping down, like I said, we went to the big hooks. This is a Universal Predator from Partridge. This is a size 4, good streamer hook. There's 2 notches inside this vise that'll hold the hook into place. It's not going anywhere. You can also set it really deep if you're going to be spinning on there and you really want to crank down on it. I mentioned before about the rotary aspect of it. If you set your hook up a little bit high in the jaws there, you're not going to get the true rotary. You'll be able to index and roll really nice, but you're not going to be able to spin thread because it's a little bit off the axis. So if you just drop the hook down in the vise a little bit more, then you get that true rotary where it's spinning on the shank. So I think my angle's a little bit messed up where it kind of still looks like it's not, but whenever you look at it from the side here, it's actually spinning flat on plane. Some other steelhead hooks, heavy single salmon hooks. This is a 1/0 from Partridge. These things, again, perfect platform for tying these. And some of these new salmon hooks, like the Alec Jacksons, the McNeese Blue Herons, those kind of things, they have like the unique drop point bend in them. So really holds nice and gives you a nice platform to work on. You still have access all the way down to the hook where you want to be, but you got a really nice solid platform for those. So those are some of the bigger hooks. I guess to kind of prove that it's still, for a big game jaw system, that you're still going to be able to work nicely. This is just a tiny, tiny little scud hook. I don't know if you can even see it. It's right on the tip of my finger. I think it's a 20 or 22. But on the big game jaws, that's something you'd be holding an 8/0 with, and you go right into there. I mean, that's a pretty small little, let's see if I can zoom in on there for you. It's a pretty small little hook that really will actually, it'll actually be a really nice platform for it to get a look at that as it comes into focus. And again, a big game jaw holding anywhere from an 8/0 Predator hook all the way down to your tiny little 20-22s and smaller little scud hooks. So super versatile vise. Like I said too, with the base there, with the jaws, you've got a really nice magnet. Yeah, this is the Regal Revolution vise. I don't think there's anything better on the market.